watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
All right, thank you for joining us on DC News Now. I'm Shanika Grimshaw, and we're going to get right to your top stories in just a moment. But first, we want to talk about the weather with meteorologist Jackie Layer with a quick check on our forecast. Now, Jackie, it started off pretty chilly, but you're saying it's going to get warmer.
Yeah, we're going to see those temperatures continue to warm up through the afternoon with those highs seasonable. We'll have the sunshine in our favor and also less wind, too. So at least it'll feel much more comfortable out there later on today. Let's first look at those low temperatures from earlier this morning. This is what you encountered as you stepped out earlier for that commute. We talked about a lot of 30s on this map. Thankfully, those temperatures will continue to rise thanks to that sunshine. We'll see those temperatures at least into the early afternoon or right around the noon hour into those middle 50s, and then nice and seasonable for the middle of the afternoon right around 4 p.m. middle 60s, and then upper 50s closer towards sunset under mainly clear skies. So highs today into those 60s. Tonight, not quite as cold as this morning, into those 40s, and then tomorrow really warming things up just shy of 80 in DC tomorrow, and guess what, even warmer temperatures this upcoming weekend. More details on that coming up.
All right, Jackie, thank you. Well, new details this morning. A Maryland volunteer firefighter from La Plata was arrested, accused for a hate crime in Delaware. State police say Jay Droney and another firefighter chased an employee with a noose at the Millville Fire Department, where Droney last worked. It happened in February 2024, but it wasn't reported until last Wednesday. Police also say during the incident, Droney made a racist comment to the victim. Officers arrested him yesterday, and officials say he joined the La Plata Volunteer Fire Department last Monday. The department says they had no prior knowledge of the incident in Delaware, and Droney is suspended from all department activities effective immediately, pending an investigation. And a man is recovering in the hospital after police say someone stabbed him in Rockville. It happened last night on Boonton Parkway. Rockville police say they found the man with multiple stab wounds. Police say the man told them that he was attacked by a group of people he knows. Anyone with information is asked to call police. And frustration and roadblocks for advocates and members of Congress trying to bring a Maryland man home from Central America. Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen flew to El Salvador yesterday trying to at least see and talk to Kilmar Abrega Garcia and ultimately get him freed from a notorious prison. Last month, Abrega Garcia was wrongfully deported by the Trump administration. A court has ordered his return, and the Supreme Court has supported that ruling. But so far, the White House and El Salvador's president have not made any effort to do so, claiming they have no power to send him back. Van Hollen says he spoke to El Salvador's vice president, asking him why Abrego Garcia is still being held.
His answer was that the Trump administration is paying El Salvador, the government of El Salvador, to keep him at CECOP.
Senator Van Hollen asking Salvadorian officials to meet with Abrego Garcia, but was told they would need more time to arrange that. Meantime, back in the DMV, dozens of families in Montgomery County showing their support. They had a rally yesterday in Silver Spring and continued to call for Abrego Garcia to be brought home. At the rally, several Montgomery County state lawmakers and state lawmakers from across Maryland shared their commitment to advocating for Abrego Garcia's return home. Even though he lived in neighboring Prince George's County, they emphasized the importance of community rallying together in this case. Those lawmakers were asked about Van Hollen's denied request to visit with or even speak with Abrego Garcia.
It is important for the senator to have access to Mr. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, to put his eyes on him, to make sure that he's okay. And for the vice president to say that, well, you know what? That says a lot about his values, and they're definitely not ours.
Van Hollen said during his trip he anticipates more members of Congress will go to El Salvador to advocate on this issue. And the U.S. Attorney General posting on social media a court document on Abrego Garcia saying the DOJ is releasing new information, but the details are the same ones already part of the initial lawsuit against the government for deporting the Maryland father. Continuing coverage on immigration, U.S. District Judge James Boasberg of D.C. says he's found probable cause to hold the Trump administration in criminal contempt of court. That's for violating a deportation order. Now, that order was to turn around 2 airplanes carrying migrants, including Abrego Garcia, to El Salvador last month. The White House invoked the Aliens Enemies Act to speed up mass deportations, claiming there was an invasion of gang members from Venezuela. And State Department is revoking the visas of hundreds of international students, including here in the DMV. Georgetown University says 10 of its community members have had their immigration status terminated, and the government did not inform the university. George Mason University has 15 students affected, and George Washington University says it has a small number of students affected. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the government is focused on visa holders acting counter to national interests. But people we spoke with say it goes beyond that.
Really an attack on the fundamental character of the United States. Foundational to who we are as a country is this idea of freedom of expression. It's the First Amendment.
A tracker from the website Inside Higher Ed shows more than 1,300 students from more than 210 colleges and universities have been affected. And today is the final day to file for a nomination to run in the Ward 8 special election. The District Board of Elections says you can email the required paperwork to candidate@dcboe.com. Early voting for Ward 8 special election starts in July. And in the district, the Commanders in D.C. are getting close to a deal to return the football team back to the nation's capital. The mayor's office says they plan to share details on a budget plan soon, and a source familiar with the talks says the deal has not been agreed upon yet and negotiations are ongoing. We did contact the Commanders, who say they're not in the position to comment right now. And staying in the district, the city remains in financial limbo as city leaders prepare for a $1 billion budget hole. The mayor is starting a hiring freeze and says spending freezes are next. Now, the city says they also anticipate furloughs and could be forced to close some facilities. The mayor saying this applies to all agencies, including firefighters and police. Now, that's a decision first responders find concerning.
Residents can absolutely expect to see significantly less officers on their street and fewer officers responding to serious events. And that's a concern.
Agencies can ask for exemptions, but they'll be considered on a case-by-case basis. And in Virginia, Fairfax County health officials are encouraging people to sign up for opioid overdose and naloxone education training sessions. So those sessions, they're going to be multiple ones, and the next one is tomorrow at 10 a.m. The sessions are virtual and free upon completing the training. Now, neighbors in Fairfax and Falls Church can receive a free box of naloxone, and if you'd like to register and participate, head online and sign up. Search Fairfax Naloxone Training. And if you live in Maryland, you might start seeing a butterfly logo on ID cards, the logo communicating that someone has a hidden disability. That's all thanks to the Eric's ID law. The Maryland Assembly passed it last month, and the law pushed by a Silver Spring man with autism and his mother. He tells us this law is needed for people to better understand people with disabilities.
You have autism, some people would not know that people with autism don't like looking at you. I feel like it's going to change the world. I feel like it's going to help the law enforcement, help first responders. It's going to help a lot of people.
The bill is awaiting Governor Wes Moore's signature, and Eric and his mom, they're working to pass Eric's ID law across the country. All right, turning now to weather, let's talk about what we really want to know. What should we wear today? Because it started off cold, but it's going to feel more spring-like later.
Exactly, and with less wind too. I know that wind has been an issue the last couple of days. Today, though, that wind finally subsides, and we'll see seasonable temperatures through the afternoon. So right around noon, temperatures should already be climbing close to 60. We'll likely see those high temperatures into those middle 60s by the middle of the afternoon, right around 3 p.m. Mainly clear skies out there, so ample amounts of sunshine for your Thursday afternoon. Later on tonight, I would say a little bit after sunset. Sunset's a little bit after 7:45, so we're looking at 8 p.m. with Futurecast. Still seeing those mainly clear conditions and temperatures hovering into those 50s, and eventually overnight tonight, dropping back down into those low to mid 40s, and that's what we start off with tomorrow morning. A warm front will lift just off towards our north as we look ahead towards early Friday morning, and then into the afternoon. afternoon. Winds will pick up for your Friday afternoon out of the south. So that southerly flow pumping in warmer temperatures along with that help of that warm front. And we'll see high temperatures tomorrow, at least 10 degrees warmer than the day today. We're going with high temperatures upper 70s to right around 80. Quite a few areas will reach 80 degrees tomorrow afternoon. And we're also tracking the sunshine out there for your Friday too. Then as we look ahead towards the weekend, the holiday weekend, this is the setup. So we have high pressure just off the coast for your Friday, warm front off towards the north. We'll see a few clouds here and there Friday, but overall still tracking bright sun-filled skies. Further off towards the north and west, cold front will be approaching as we look ahead towards Saturday. Now I do want to say that most of the weekend it is dry. We count out that chance though for a spot or isolated shower or thunderstorm that pops up with that cold front as it dives in, especially for our westernmost areas late in the day on Saturday. So like I mentioned, most of the weekend is dry. I would just say back out towards our westernmost areas with that front dropping in. It could spark up that shower or storm back out towards western Maryland, parts of the eastern panhandle, West Virginia. Aside from that, that front stalls just down towards our south for early Sunday, Easter Sunday. And we're talking about mainly cloudy skies out there that day. Now, as another system will be being propelled into our area for Monday, out ahead of it, we could see that shower chance late Sunday night, still back out towards our westernmost areas. I'll be watching as that system approaches the region into your Monday, and that could bring some more wet weather. I would say most of the area does see some more shower chances later in the day Monday with that system, and as a result, some spotty showers linger into Tuesday. So in terms of those temperatures, though, gradual warming trends Saturday. We're talking about a lot more of the region into those 80s. And here's the rest of that 7-day forecast. Upper 70s on Sunday for your Easter. Then looking ahead toward the start of that next work week, still holding into those 70s even for Earth Day on Tuesday.
And we're helping you stretch your dollar and save some money on this week's groceries. So the price of eggs, produce, and chicken has been stretching while it's thin, but we've been tracking where you can find the savings. Consumer reporter Haley Milon breaks down the shopping list.
Yes, the latest data show that inflation is cooling a bit, but data doesn't reflect the tariffs that are now in place, so prices could get steeper. Now, experts say we'll see tariff impacts on food prices before any other items.
ABC News Now tracks the prices of 10 grocery staples at Walmart, Giant, and Safeway. Nationwide, average egg prices hit record highs in recent weeks. But in our stores, compared to 2 weeks ago, egg prices are unchanged. Walmart has the cheapest offering of a dozen brown eggs at $5.44. Avocados are down 8 cents at Walmart this week and up 22 cents at Giant. Boneless chicken breast value packs jumped up $3 at Safeway this week. Ground beef got pricier, going up 10% at Giant and 57% at Safeway. And looking down the road, a Lending Tree report finds that organic produce is 53% more expensive than non-organic produce. But because non-organic produce is more commonly imported, tariff exposure could drive up those prices much faster. The USDA says that the U.S. grows more than 95% of its organic fruits and vegetables. Taking a look at where our prices were a year ago, Safeway shoppers, you're likely paying a lot more for food than you were last April. Avocados doubled in price. Chicken, broccoli, pork, and ground beef all went up. Giant's chicken, pork, and brown rice prices are down from last year. And Walmart shoppers, your prices stayed pretty stable.
And food supply chain experts say that tariffs could hit your food prices within the next month or so. I'm Haley Milon. Back to you guys.
All right, good savings there. Well, the best soccer players in the world are coming to the United States this summer for the 2025 Club World Cup. 3 matches are set to play at Audi Field right here in the nation's capital. That's in June. Yesterday morning, FIFA President Gianni Infantino was at Audi Field alongside former U.S. national coach Jill Ellis to reveal the Club World Cup trophy and to see the ball that they'll be using for the tournaments. 3 matches will be played in D.C., the first one on June 18th, the second match will be on June 22nd, and the final match will be on June 26th.
It is important to be in the nation's capital. It is, of course, the capital of the United States of America. It's, kind of the capital of the world as well. And it will definitely be the capital of the world during the club. The matches which are played here in D.C.
Very exciting there. The 2025 FIFA Club World Cup will kick off on June 14th and end with a championship match on July 13th. Now, you can watch all of those matches for free streaming on DAZN. And that's all the time we have for you this morning on DC News Now, but be sure to stick around for more news and weather coming up on DC News Now at noon.